So today we're gonna do something fun. I noticed earlier this afternoon that my dogs are out of homemade treats. So we're gonna make another treat today. And this can also partner up with something you can do for your family for dinner as well. And you can just make smaller bite-sized pieces for your dog. I know that many of you who have been following me know that I talk about something called the ancestral diet, which is a diet for your dogs that is primarily protein-based, and it has minimal fats and carbohydrates. There's a lot of things that go into that because you need to make sure that your dog's having proper vitamins and minerals. If you are uncomfortable going full-blown into that, and I'm still doing quite a bit of research, this is great additives that you can be doing for your dog in the meantime. If you're still feeding them kibble, this is a great way you can give them actual nutrients. And the reason I say that is because most food product made either in the United States or out of the United States is processed at a very, very high temperature. And what happens to that kibble is it loses all of its nutrient value and its vitamins. It's not completely depleted of it, but it's very, very minimal in vitamins and nutrients, and it's very low moisture. And you guys know how much I talk about how dogs need high moisture content in their diet. So what we're gonna be making today is called turkey bites, and because I touched my face, I'm gonna go wash my hands really quickly. I already washed them, but we're gonna go ahead and wash them again. I do have my cookie sheet here. It's lined in parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, you can just put a little bit of olive oil or something like that on there. I'm gonna preheat my oven to 350 degrees. So the only things that you are going to need is I have 1/4 cup of shredded cheese, and we're doing low amount of cheese because dogs don't need a whole lot of fat. We have 1 egg, organic free range egg, and then I have some fresh parsley, and we're gonna be using 93.7 lean turkey. So it's 93% lean and 7% fat, again, because dogs don't need a whole lot of fat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and dump, this is about 1 pound of lean turkey meat, and you could be doing this for your family if you're gonna have pasta one night. You can just do some lean turkey little meatballs. Also gonna be making small bite size for my dogs for treats. So I just put the turkey meat in there, and then because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna mush this all together. I'm gonna go ahead and dump in the 1/4 cup of shredded cheese. And I'm sure you guys cannot even see what I'm doing. I'm sorry. Can you see that? I'm gonna set this back here because after I just touch that meat, I gotta go wash my hands again because I need to chop up this parsley. So parsley is great for several reasons. One, it smells really nice. I actually grow parsley in my garden every year, and I already have my herb garden going. That's what I was doing earlier, and I got a little bit of a burn. I was clearing out all the weeds out of my vegetable garden so we can get our tomatoes going. That's what I was doing earlier this afternoon. But anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and chop up this parsley finely. Now the good things about parsley are the fact that it's an anti-inflammatory, it's an antioxidant, and it's an antimicrobial. What those words mean, like one that always sticks out to me, and we've talked about this before in dogs' oral health, is that antimicrobial. What that means is it aids in killing bacteria in the mouth. So it's great for your dog's breath. And other good things that it's good for is good kidney health and good urinary health. A great example of the fact that you could be doing something for your own family that's really healthy and just set a little bit aside for your dogs, just so they can have some of that real human grade, all natural food too. And then they're not always eating tons of processed food. And currently this is the way that I get that natural food in to my dogs. I do get the highest grade I can possibly find in my area of kibble, and it's made in the United States, just because I'm still learning and I don't want to harm my pets. And you know, we can do that together. If you guys are interested in possibly doing a species appropriate diet, we can learn that together. I've been doing some reading on it, and yeah, it's really interesting. So if you guys are interested in doing that with me, just comment below yes, species appropriate or something, or just yes, I'm interested, and so I'll know that you guys are interested in learning that with me. So I'm finally chopping up this parsley. It's gonna be great for my dog's breath and also great for their urinary system as well as their kidney health. Okay, so that is pretty good. I'm gonna put my 1 organic egg into the turkey meat. And then I'm gonna go ahead and drop this parsley in there as well. Now there's some parsleys that there's been research that, like curly parsley, for me, personally, I don't tend to buy curly parsley just because the texture. I don't know what it is, but I like the flat leaf parsley better, or what also is called spring parsley. I prefer that. Dogs can have larger amounts of it and then there's no toxic effects or whatever. Which I've never had any problems with my dogs having toxic effects with this, but I think you'd have to give them mass amounts. So I'm gonna start mixing this up with my spatula, but let's be honest, we're probably gonna go to my hands. I don't know if anybody else does that, and if it grosses you out, I'm sorry. But that's how my family does it. We create meatballs and meatloaf with our hands. So I'm just gonna start mixing up this. It is okay to give them meat. The species appropriate diet, which makes me a little bit nervous, to be honest with you, is raw meat. Some people are uncomfortable with that, so you can give them cooked meat. When you're cooking meat, the same thing for us, some of the nutrients is getting taken out of that meat, right? So that is the kind of the ideas of why giving them raw meat. But human grade meat goes through a whole lot more checkpoints in terms of like the FDA, stuff like that, than like kibble and stuff has to go through. But that's a whole other thing. So if you're apprehensive of giving them raw meat, you can definitely be giving them cooked meat or partially cooked meat. The only thing I will say is this. If you are like cooking like a turkey or a chicken and you have chicken bones that are cooked, absolutely do not give your dog cooked meat bones. Because what happens is like the structure of the bone and the cooking process breaks down, and when your dog chews on that, it has more ability to shard and like to tear up, and it can like hurt your dogs internally. It can like puncture their esophagus or their lining of their stomach. There's a whole lot of things that go into that. So if you guys are interested in learning more about giving your dogs like actual bones, whether it should be like cooked, uncooked, that kind of thing, we can go over that too. So I hope that helps a little bit. But yes, you can give your dogs meat. If you have never done it before, I would start out by giving them small amounts to make sure that they don't have like a specific allergen to that meat. Not an allergen, but like an intolerance or something like that. And not to mention, anytime you change your dog's diet, it's always encouraged to do it slowly, because everybody knows that if you go abruptly from one food to the other, the likelihood is that they're going to have an upset stomach. So do it slowly. So that's what I do now in my dog's kibble. Like in the evening time, I give them a digestive enzyme, and I've been doing that for probably over a year, about a year, something like that, over a year. I put that in their food at night, and that's also by Mercola Healthy Pets. And then I put either low sodium chicken broth or water to add more moisture into their diet. And then I'll give them like little niblets of treats in there, like blackberries, or the other day we made cantaloupe and Greek yogurt treats. I put some of those little niblets in there, or I put in there little pieces of bell peppers, stuff like that. Okay, so this is well mixed. What I'm gonna be doing now, this is what it looks like, is I'm gonna start taking little pieces with my hand. I'm gonna start rolling them up into balls, and I'm gonna make some big ones for Chris and I, so when we have pasta one night or something like that, we can just have these little turkey balls in there, and I'm gonna make little bite-sized ones for the dogs. And then after I bake them, I think I wrote it down, baking them like 10-15 minutes or until they're golden brown. And then you can also, once they are baked, store them in the freezer until you're ready to use them, or in the refrigerator, however quickly you use them. So I'm gonna make some balls. Now be careful, like sometimes Chris will want to give the dog something. We'll have put seasoning on the meat, right? So you just want to be careful with that. Like if it's over salted, like we don't want our dogs to have too much salt, or if it has like a whole lot of black pepper. I love black pepper on my stuff, and we love our food spicy, but you don't want to do that to your dog. It can really probably upset their stomach. And to be honest, I don't know all the ins and outs on pepper-wise, like what you should be giving your dog. That's definitely something I can research. If it's lightly seasoned, yeah, go for it. Okay, so I'm just making a couple of large meatballs for Chris and I. Turkey bites, turkey bowls. Layla is over here behind me. She knows something's up. She always knows that Mommy's making treats, don't ya? So these, because they're so lean, I'm putting them 3 in a row. I don't know if you guys can see that. And I mean, you don't want to crowd them, but at the same time, they're not going to expand too much because there's not a lot of fat in there. So I've ran out of space, but I'm just continuing to make the remaining of these bites until I can get out another cookie sheet with clean hands. So I'm gonna go over here and wash my hands real quick again. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these turkey bites into the oven. This is what they look like they're done. I still have a few more small ones in this bowl, but I gotta get another cookie sheet out. But we're gonna cook these probably more so, these are gonna be done most likely before Chris's and mine are done. So these will probably take about 10, 15 minutes, max 10, 12 minutes. These might take 15 to 20 minutes, I'm guessing. So I'm gonna pop these in the oven, and I'm gonna give the pups maybe a couple today, and then the other ones I'll stick in the refrigerator in a Ziploc bag or a container until I'm ready to give them to them. So I hope you guys found this fun and interesting. It was really quick, and that just goes to show you how simple it is. You can make nutritional, healthy treats for your pet, and it doesn't take any time at all. I was making something for Chris and I'm also sharing it with my dogs. So if you guys have questions, feel free to ask me. You can share this to your page if you'd like, so you can refer back to the recipe and you don't have to be like, oh, what was in that again? And if you have friends that like to bake or like to cook or like to make things for the dogs, you can share this their direction as well. Have a good afternoon, you guys. Go out and enjoy the sunshine.